When our quiet world is suddenly shattered, we can only hope that we're prepared to respond quickly to the emergency. For Jennifer Wellborn, that moment came on the afternoon of July 15th, 1990, outside her home in Guthrie, Kentucky.
Jeff was going to work on his car, and Jessica was playing out in the yard beside him.
Hi, Jesse, what are you doing?
He was getting something out of the toolbox, and she was counting out the sockets.
Thank you.
She can't count right, so she was like saying 1, 2, 9, 8, you know, back and forth in the numbers, and he was counting with her. I heard him squeal, so I looked back over towards him. He was struggling, trying to push the car like away from him, and all of a sudden it rolled the rest of the way down on his neck and head and chest, and he just stopped moving, just all at once, just laid still. First thing I think of was just get it up off of him, so I tried picking it up on the fender well, and it wasn't budging at all. I stepped across him, looked at him. His eyes had already rolled back in his head. His face was turning blue. His lips had turned blue. And I ran back in the house, trying to get some help. I couldn't hear anything. It wasn't ringing or anything.
Jennifer could not get her phone to work.
Help! Somebody help! Help!
Come on.
From across the street, Patricia Pearson heard Jennifer's cries.
I come out of the house, and I went around the car, and her husband was up under the car, and we was trying to lift it off of him, and we couldn't. And I felt bad because he was just laying there. He was just lifeless.
I can't get it off. It won't even move.
And we tried lifting it from the side Jeff was on as hard as we could, and we couldn't move it.
Help! Somebody help! Help! Come on! Our fellow Jeff, I think he's dead!
Next-door neighbor Tim Pulley, a volunteer with the local rescue squad, also heard Jennifer and called the Todd County Emergency Center.
I need an ambulance and the rescue squad, single 9.
10-4.
The county's volunteer rescue squad was immediately notified of the emergency.
Squad members, we have a medical
Emergency, flight 40.
Paramedic Scott Marshall was at home when the report came across his radio.
I knew that with a car on somebody like that they were going to need help quick.
He had a pulse, but he wasn't breathing. I thought his neck was broke, and with no movement, nothing. I thought, well, he's dead, and there's nothing I can do for him.
Tim said, I can't get it up. I said, we've got to do something. I can't leave him here. And Jessica just kept hollering for her daddy.
It's not working. You got to stop it.
I went around the front of the car, and that's when I looked down up under the car and saw the jack.
Oh, me. Oh, Terry. Pulling. No. Oh, not like that. Keep pulling.
Tim said, want me to try this? He was jacking it up. It wouldn't move. I said, it's not moving it. It's not moving it at all.
No. Oh, God, help.
I jacked it up as far as it'd go, and about all it's done is jack the car up about 2 inches. I kept screaming, can you get him? Can you get him? Is he out? Can you get him now? And she kept saying, no, no, no.
No, no, no.
I just pulled as hard as I could trying to get him out, and I still can't get him out. It was just so tight. The way I looked, his neck wasn't even an inch thick.
Anything? No. No, it's not moving.
I reached up on the front fender, and I pulled down.
Nothing. Now? No. Now?
What I was trying to get here was a teeter-totter effect.
A little bit more. Is it clear? Yeah.
After 4 minutes, they were finally able to pull Jeff free.
He wasn't breathing, and his face was just solid blue. Even his lips were blue. And I couldn't find a pulse in his neck or in his wrist, and I just thought he was dead.
Come on, breathe, Jeff. Come on, breathe. Breathe.
I knelt down in front of him, and I reached over and I grabbed his head and held it, because I just knew anything like that, he had to have something broke in his neck.
Well, I can't make it without you. Come on, Jeff. Come on, breathe.
And he just took the aggressive air by himself.
Jeff, it's him. Can you hear me?
I had worked in a hospital before, and I knew that he was going to go into shock.
Paramedic Marshall got to the scene in less than 4 minutes.
Once I got out of my vehicle and over to Jeff, I saw that he was unconscious, that he was cyanotic, and his respirations were practically zero. He was having maybe 3 or 4 respirations per minute.
Breathe.
He never did gain consciousness the whole time I seen him. He was just gurgling, like he was gurgling on blood.
They just kept saying, he's going to be okay, he's strong, he can handle it. And I said, I don't know this time. You know, nothing's ever happened like that. I mean, we've been married ever since I was 15 years old. I never thought about losing him.
The nearest trauma center was more than an hour away, so a life flight helicopter was called in to transport Jeff.
One of the ambulance drivers said you can't go with him. I said, no, I've got to be with him. I thought if he died before I got over there, you know, I'd never see him again.
But there was no room for Jennifer on board the helicopter, so Jeff's parents drove her the 50 miles to Vanderbilt University Medical Center.
I asked, you know, where was he? And they say he's here, they're working on him. They had given him a shot to paralyze him, and they were running a CAT scan. There was, you know, a good chance there would be brain damage.
Jeff was moved to ICU and put on a respirator to help keep him alive. After 2 days, there was still no sign of improvement.
Jeff, can you hear me? No, I was standing there beside his bed. Can you hear me, baby? He opened his eyes, and he held his arms up like he was cradling the baby.
Kids?
I said, the kids? He said, yeah. He shook his head, and I said, the kids are fine. They're at my dad's. They're going to be okay. We just got to worry about getting you okay. You're going to be just fine.
I thought he was lucky not to have died on the scene. So anybody this lucky's got to make it. You know, anybody that's got a next-door neighbor that can bench press a Trans Am's got a chance.
Within a week, 24-year-old Jeff Wellborn was released from the hospital. In the months after the accident, he and his wife Jennifer grew close to their neighbor and rescuer, Tim Pulley.
If he hadn't been there, Jeff wouldn't be here today. The kids wouldn't have no daddy, and I wouldn't have no husband.
Smart and said.
What classroom the spelling bee? Yep. You know, he's a great big guy, but he's got a great big heart, or he wouldn't even care enough to come out. Okay.
I was made this size for some reason. Maybe that was it. I wouldn't took a nickel for a pound of it that day.
He's only the sun in the moon.
What's the name of it? I shook his hand when I got out of the hospital. Told him what good deed he done. If there'd been anybody else around there, I don't believe they'd came out and helped. But I'm glad he did.
What superhero?
I think when people are in a hurry and trying to work on something and don't take the right safety precautions, that this type of accident is going to continue to happen. If you're going to work on your own vehicle, use some common sense. You know, secure the vehicle, scotch the vehicle, keep it from rolling back.
We don't take it for granted anymore that we're together. Every other anniversary, he's always working, I've always worked. This time, we both took off and stayed together the whole day. Whatever we do it together and make the most of what we got.